Hello everybody, welcome back. It is June 28th, 2024. We are almost finished with this month. Can you believe it? Well, as I told you in the last little segment, I am getting all of my Christmas stitching ready for Christmas in July. Today we got our new bingo board for July as far as the shape and the coloring of which ones count toward the bingo, and it's a big one, so I'll share that with you as well. But yesterday evening, while I was Zooming with friends and we did our planning for our acrostics that we know of so far, we have to wait, to the first to get the one from the Daily 30 group. But while I was talking over our acrostic plans and what we're doing for Christmas in July and any new starts or sales we're working on, all of us are going to be at retreat at some point in July. Two of my friends are going to be at the New Jersey retreat, Stitch New Jersey, that Arlene Cohen is putting on. Donna and I will be going to Tulsa, Oklahoma to the Silver Needle. And then I will be joining a lot of friends in Alabama for the North Alabama group at the Rocket City Stitchers Retreat, also in July. So there was a lot of planning going on last night. How do you accommodate, all of these different places and taking things with you? So one of my new starts I had planned for the month of July was Pere, Noel. That's a hands-on design. I picked that up when I was at a retreat this summer, and I started it last night. I got 372 stitches in it to get it going. So there you go. That's quite a good start. I did that many because I was on the Zoom call and I just went right ahead and kept stitching on it till we got off the call. And this is so small, my 6x6 Q-snap didn't really hold it well. So I put it on one of these little stretcher bar frames with my little tacks. And that's how I'm going to stitch this one. I use all kinds of things, whatever works. So I'll put that away now and I'll take that with me. I have one final start to get started, and that is my full coverage Rudolph's Tree Farm. That's the Dimensions kit, and I'm hoping that I get time to do that this afternoon. But my husband and I are hosting 3 couples for lunch today. We want to hear about a recent mission trip that one of them has been on. Tommy wants to share with them about his experiences on the AT Trail, and we just want to get back together and say hey to each other and kind of catch up, because another one of the couples, the wife has been traveling all over creation because she's had 2 grandbabies, and so we haven't all gotten together in quite a while. So I think that'll be fun. But that means I won't have a lot of stitching time today because we'll have the company and then I'll have cleanup after that. And then I don't know what I may wind up doing, but I hope it's stitching. So let me go ahead and show you my cross stitch bingo game for the month of July. This is the little private group that was our table mates at the North Alabama Stitching Retreat a year ago. And I was really flattered that they asked me to participate in their bingo game. And it does help me have at least one thing to stitch on every day. But stitching Christmas in July made it a little different on how I set up my board. But here is our bingo colors. So you have to get every one of the colored squares or spaces before you can call bingo. So the chances of me having to get to the very last day are pretty high on this one, let me tell you, because it's going to be a very aggressive board. But as Carla said when she posted it, we should get lots of stitching done this month, and that is true. I'm excited about that. But on my July board, I have a new start, and now I've started all of them but one. So I very well may think about that. I may leave it because whenever it's called in July is when I could start it. So I'll have to think about that, or either I'm going to have to come up with another new start. I have Christmas whips in here several times because that's all I'm going to be working on really. But I have smattered in the smallest whip, my whip closest to a finish. I put in here a whip go call, but I've completed all those already. So I may have to change that one. I have a whip needing attention, a most recent new start, and a non-Christmas whip. I put the non-Christmas whip in there once I figured out that I was going to have to start that Halloween piece on July 1st, and I'll be stitching on it every day. So whenever that one's called, I'll stitch at least 100 stitches that day instead of the 25. And that way I will meet my goal for the bingo game. So I'm looking forward to it. I can hardly wait for it to get started. And now, today, I think I'm going to pull back out my 13th colony by the bay. It is getting so close to a finish, y'all, and I just keep wanting to work on it so much. And so while I'm in the mood to work on it, and it's the end of the month and I don't have any goals I have to hit, I think that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to pull out my By the Bay 13th colony now that I've decided to save that new start. And I'll get started on it. I hope you're having a great start to your weekend. I certainly am. I love to host friends over and then hopefully get to stitch. So the two things I love the most in the same day would be wonderful. Oh, please, if you are stitching Christmas in July and you haven't already told me, let me know. It is so fun to hear what you're going to do. So I will talk to you soon. The next time I see you, I hope to have a little more stitching on 13th colony to share with you. Happy stitching, everybody. Hello, welcome. Today is July 1st, and it will become my Christmas in July month pretty soon. But I had to finish up some ongoing business before I started on Christmas. And of course, today is a new start for a start along that I've agreed to do. And I have to do that first before I even do my Christmas piece. Or at some point in time today, I have to do those two things. But this morning, I am here to tell you I am beyond excited because I finished a huge piece that I've been working on. And I started in earnest trying to finish it on the 28th. I stitched 862 stitches on the 28th and thought, I think I can get this done by the end of the month. And I had hoped to. And then on Saturday, I stitched until 2 o'clock Sunday morning trying to finish this piece. I stitched 2,390 stitches in one day. It was a marathon. I stopped only to walk Coco and to have dinner, lunch and dinner with my husband. That was it. I told him I'm working on a finish. I want to try to finish it today. And he said, go for it. And I came to bed at 2 o'clock Sunday morning. So when we got through with church and lunch on Sunday, I sat back down and I started again on it yesterday, and I stitched until my back wouldn't tolerate it any longer. I started having a really bad discomfort because I had been sitting and stitching so much for so long for 3 days in a row that my back said, no more, you need to take a break. But I did 1,482 stitches yesterday before I had to give up. And when I gave up, I knew I was close to a finish. And I told my husband, I know tomorrow is the 1st. And I'm supposed to start my Christmas in July, and I will. But I'm going to finish this first. I'm not going to put it back away. I'm going to finish it. And I did. Today, I just finished stitching 895 more stitches. But I have finished. So let me show you my 13th colony. I'm going to back up so you can see the whole thing. There it is. I think it is lovely. Absolutely lovely. It reminds me of Georgia. It reminds me of probably like Savannah, Georgia. I'm not sure what this is based on, but that's what it reminds me of when I look at it. Now, my mom had a weeping willow in her yard. I've mentioned that before. And so having that weeping willow as a prominent piece of this picture is just awesome to me. And of course the lighthouse is amazing because we do have lighthouses in Georgia, and especially along the coast. So there you have it. I have fabulous memories of stitching this. I did start it about 2 years ago. I stitched part 1 year, part 2 1 year, and then I went ahead and made a goal to stitch part 3 in the same year that I did part 2, which was putting it a whole lot more emphasis on it. But this I want to have framed and put above my fireplace. I want it to have a place of prominence in my home. I think the colors will look great in my living room because that blue color in the water is in my carpet, in my rug in the living room, and in my couch. And I just think it will go beautifully there. So I'm gonna try to get this over to the framers as soon as possible to have it framed. But right now I just wanted to share it with you. Thanks for letting me do that. I wanted you to get to see it. So the piece that I just finished was from the side of the tree closest to the end all the way out to the end. That's what I've stitched on in the last 3.5 days to get it finished. And I'm very, very, very happy that I've gotten it done. And I've pressed it, and so now I'm going to lay it out on my table before it gets wrinkled. And I'm thinking that I'll take it to the framer as soon as possible. So there you have it. 13th Colony, parts 1, 2, and 3. So excited. Okay, so I'm gonna put this away now, and then I'm gonna grab a Christmas piece to stitch on for 100 stitches for my bingo call for today, which was a Christmas whip, number 25 on my board. And then I will have a new start at some point today. I only have to put 25 stitches in it to meet the requirement of my new start because it's 25 stitches a day. But I will get that done before I go to bed tonight. That's my commitment to myself. So anyway, by the bay, Needlearts, 13th Colony, parts 1, 2, and 3. Finished. I hope your July has gotten off to a great start. Mine certainly has. The good thing about this is that it's going to help my Stitch from Stash because it starts over in July. And I know I ended in the black in June, so that's great. But this will give me a big leg up, on my Stitch from Stash to have another part of this finished. So there you go. I'm going to say so long for now because I may be back later today to show you my progress on my other 2 things that I'm doing. But I definitely want to get this to the framer before I get it all wrinkled up again. So, until we speak again, happy stitching, everybody. Hi, everyone. Happy Christmas in July. Today is July 2nd, and for the last 2 days, I have been stitching on one of my Christmas whips. And I had already completed my July section of this whip. This is my Madame Lafie Snow and Mountains, and I had finished the July section, and I've shared that with you already. But I still wanted to get the other 2 days of work on this that I had said I wanted to do on all of my whips. I wanted 3 days. And I decided I also wanted to work on the ones that are on roller frames while I'm at home and not at retreat as much as possible, because it's easier not to have to carry my roller frames with me, because I hate to break them down to carry them anywhere. I like to leave them put together. So in the last 2 days, I have done quite a bit of stitching on Snow and Mountains. I did 711 stitches yesterday, and I did 862 today. Now, I did take a break, and I did stitch on my new start on July 1st for my Shakespeare's Fairies. And I did finish my 13th colony. So I've had other stitching going on, but my bingo call was for a Christmas whip for both days. So I've used this for 2 days, and I want to show you where I got to. So the last time I stitched it, I did the July section right in here, finished that up. And August would normally be the section right over here, but I'm not doing August section. I'm just doing whatever I want to, because I'm just working on it for the remaining 2 days that I wanted to get in the month of July. So I came over here. Well, first I came over here and I extended this margin down to the page break, or the break for what the next month will be. And then when I picked it back up for these last 2 days, I came over here and I extended this down all the way to the corner. And I turned the corner. So this was actually September's section of it, but I had charted out for September, and I completed the whole section. So I am a section ahead, which is great. But that's because I'm doing Christmas in July, and I was able to just keep stitching on it for the 2 days that I have been working on it. And I am tickled pink with the progress that I have made. This is the pretty part, to me, the most colorful part of the pattern. This was full of confetti. It has a lot of different colors in it. And you can tell from all the shading and shadowing in the cup and the picture that there's a lot of color changes in that part. And but I am thrilled, absolutely thrilled with where it is. So now I literally have 1, 2, 3 sections left. So that could be August, September, October, which means I could finish this as early as October. And I'll just keep working on it, the section each month, if nothing else. But I really, really thought this one was just moved along so well in the last 2 days. 2 days time, I've been able to give some really strong stitching time, because I was here all day and didn't have anything else I had to do. I didn't have any commitments of my time. And so I've put in a lot of hours of stitching. Coco and I have been on several excursions over the last 2 days, but I tried to do early in the morning and late in the afternoon because of the heat. And my husband actually took her out tonight at dusk and took her up to a church right up the street and played in the grass with her, let her run and play. So it was much cooler, and I think she enjoyed that a lot. But here you are, Snow and Mountains. This is now finished all the way to here. And other than the bottom of the frame right here, that whole section is done, which I think is great. But it is fairly late. It's after 11 o'clock tonight, and so I am going to wish you a good evening, and I'm going to go to bed and start over again tomorrow. Tomorrow I get to talk to my friend Marissa if everything goes well and she's still available. So my call for tomorrow on my bingo board is a whip of choice. That'll be easy. It'll be whatever I want to do. My plan for what I was going to stitch on was supposed to be Snow and Mountains again, but I've now done 3 days on it. So I will pull out something else that's on a roll frame, and I will get started on it for my whip of choice and for my Christmas whip, and get going on that. So I'll share that with you tomorrow. But I hope you're started out your month having a great month of stitching, and if you are doing Christmas in July, I hope it's going really well for you. I will tell you this too. I took my 13th colony to my framer at Hobby Lobby today. I had called yesterday as soon as I finished it, and I asked if Mindy was there, and she had just gotten off work, and so I left a message for her, and she called me this morning. And so we spent about 45 minutes together going through different options of framing. Ran into a little bit of a problem because the 3 patterns together stretch that piece out to 40 inches across. It's only 10.5 inches tall, but it's 40 inches long. And you have to order oversized mats to do that. And so it took us a while and 2 or 3 different ideas that we were pursuing before we hit on the perfect solution. So I left there. Mindy was all excited about putting it together for me and said she was going to start pinning it today. She'll have to order the frame and all that. So it'll still be, a couple of weeks or so before I get it back. But I am tickled to death to have it there. Tickled to death. So that was another big accomplishment for today. And I did stitch some with my friend Juliana at her house today. I didn't stay a really long time. She was very tired. And I felt like she needed a nap, but I also had to go do a little bit of shopping today, getting ready for my travels coming up for retreats. So I enjoyed doing that. So we are getting ready for July 4th. We are not going to have a big group here or a big party or anything. My husband's running in the Peachtree Road Race. This will be his 39th consecutive year to run in it. My friend Donna is coming up from her house to stitch with me on the 4th and have lunch with us. And I think we're just going to have a really easy day. I think we're just going to have sandwiches and just Donna and I don't have to get in the kitchen and cook or anything. We're just going to stitch. And then, we'll go from there. So, looking forward to it. I hope you have a great week, and I should be back to talk with you about my stitching, if not tomorrow, the next day, depending on whether I do work on a project. If I'm working on it 2 days in a row, I'm not filming until I'm finished with it because I don't need to show it to you and then show it to you again. So you may see me every other day during the month of July. So we'll see. But Snow and Mountains, it's done for the month. I don't have to work on it anymore unless I just decide to work on it more at the end of the month after I've finished everything else. But there you go. That's the progress. I hope, as I said, that you're having a great start to your month. So I'm going to let you go now on to the next clip. And I hope to talk to you very soon with more stitching to share. Happy stitching, everybody. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Happy July 4th if you are in the U.S. or an American citizen that celebrates Independence Day. I had a wonderful day today on July 4th. I had a friend come and stitch with me. My husband left very early this morning to go into Atlanta to run his 39th consecutive Peachtree Road Race. My friend and I stitched part of the morning. We went to Hobby Lobby, did some shopping, went out to eat lunch in a new restaurant and that neither of us had tried before. And then stitched all afternoon, and my husband and friend and I had turkey and fresh tomato and lettuce sandwiches for dinner and just sat and talked and visited a little bit. So it was a restful, lovely day for me. I enjoyed it. So again, I have been stitching for 2 days on a Christmas whip. I had planned to stitch, 3 days on every whip, but I'm not doing all 3 days at one time. But what I'm finding to be very exciting and comfortable for me so far has been 2 days. And what that will do for me is that it will allow me to get a couple of days of stitching in until I go to retreat, and then I might only stitch on it one day while I'm at retreat, the things that I'm taking with me. And then once I get back home, I can have one day to get a little more work done on almost everything before the end of the month, which will be great. But what I mentioned to my friend today, it's been a long time since I've worked on my projects for more than one day. And unless I was pushing something, really pushing something for a finish. So I've been pleased to see how much progress I've been able to make because I am working on things for 2 days in a row. And it's also been great because right now there's not a whole lot of other things I'm involved in that'll pick up a lot in August and September. But for now, I've had a good bit of time to do some stitching. So today's choice was Santa's house. That was on my list for yesterday and today. And my stitching today was a whip of choice, so that worked out just fine. I posted my first stitching session this morning, and then I went shopping with my friend, and then when we got back, we stitched a whole lot more in the afternoon. So I am pleased to let you know that between the 2 days, goodness, probably got about 1,400 stitches in here. Anyway, I hope you can tell a difference. So when I started this, I had the gray in the roof done and the red done to here. So that was about where it was. I did not have the red in these snowflakes, at least not this one for sure. And I didn't have a couple of others on there either. So I put the red in the snowflake and all around. I came down here with the border, brought that down a little bit, and then came on over here and I started this row across the house. And I did the entire section of that in the house. Then I came down here and did the white that sets up the next section for fill in. And I'm starting to think I might take this on retreat, so I'll leave that blank and I'll go down and do something that's a little more involved. And I'm going to tilt that back a little bit so the light will hit it, because this has pretty little lighter pink decorations in the dark red. It's not just a solid red. It's got decorations in it, or a pattern in the door itself. So now I have this section of the roof that's over the bottom floor of the house, and then I have all the walls in here, and they have something similar to this in them and will be red. You'll see there's a big pattern. So this is the part, I've got these two sides and I've got this gray roof in here to do. And then I would have to start from here, do all of this, and go across and do all of this. So there's still a lot of stitching left in this one. But I am tickled with the progress on this house, and I love it. I think it is beautiful. So I'm going to put it away now. Trying to decide whether I'm going to take it with me or just stitch on it again when I get home. And I think I'm just going to stitch on it again when I get home. But anyway, that is the stitching for today. Tomorrow, the call on my bingo game is a Christmas whip. You're probably noticing a trend. I put that on most every one of them. But whatever I choose to stitch on tomorrow, then it definitely, I'll have to at least do one Christmas whip tomorrow. Tomorrow is my day to get ready for my trip. And so we got a message from the Silver Needle that the pattern they sent us for the berry, that we need to extend our back stitching on the berry by 5 stitches on both sides, and that one of the piece that we're going to make into the drum has to have a back stitching all the way around the drum the stitch portion that you're going to make into a drum. And I didn't do that, so I need to go do that tomorrow. So that's first on my list. And then I've got to do my fairies, my Shakespeare's Fairies, to make sure I don't lose track of it. I haven't shown that to you because I'm stitching on it, you know, ongoing. But I want to go ahead and I might show you the progress tomorrow, depending on how that goes. Anyway, I'm going to put my Santa's house pattern in my elf bag because the elves would be at Santa's house, I'm sure. And file that away for now. So it's going great. I'm getting a lot done and I'm having a great time doing it. So that's, you know, that's most of it right there, is that I'm enjoying it so much. So I will come back tomorrow or the next day and let you know what I've been working on for the last couple of days and show you the stitching as I can. And I hope that you've had, if you've been celebrating today, I hope you've had a good day, especially if you've had a good day with your family. I was able to talk to my son today, and that was lovely. And then tomorrow, our neighborhood association, or our couple of neighbors in our neighborhood, put on a huge fireworks display every year, and they have selected to do it tomorrow night because that's Friday night. And I think they were trying to make sure all their family and friends could get in time for them to have the fireworks. So they're practicing tonight. I can hear several fireworks going off. And what's beautiful about it is that they shoot the fireworks off their dock over the lake. And so it, you know, it explodes in the sky and then it reflects on the lake. And it's a very pretty picture. It makes a very pretty picture. We're fortunate that our dog is not afraid of fireworks. She loves to sit and watch them with us, which is kind of interesting. Most dogs don't like that, but she does. And so she'll be out with us, I'm sure, tomorrow night watching the fireworks. The backup plan is if it's raining at all tomorrow night, we'll do it Saturday. So sometime this weekend we should see a nice fireworks display. So that'll be fun. Okay, well that is it for now. When I went to Hobby Lobby today, I picked up things that were just needs, like a couple of sheets of mat board. I've got some trim to put on a pillow, which I'll show you as soon as I get it on there. And I picked up some sharp needles, sewing needles, because we got a message that we need to bring that with us, with craft glue, craft scissors, clips, and so I have packed all of that in my bag now, that what we've been told to bring. So that's a good thing. So I think at this point I've got my clothes in the suitcase. I have my cross stitch packed unless I add more to it. And now I'm just kind of waiting till Tuesday morning rolls around. So I also have my exchange gift, and it's one that I have stitched in the past. You saw it when I stitched it. You haven't, I don't know if you've seen it since I fully finished it or not, but I will take a picture of it before I turn it in for the exchange, and that way you'll get to see it again and remember what I had done. So there you have it. All right, that's everything this evening I need to share with you, and so I will let you move on to the next clip. And in the meantime, happy stitching, everybody. Hi everybody, welcome back. Today is Friday, July 5th, and I'm here to talk to you a little bit about my stitching for today. Today's stitching was for my bingo game and my Christmas in July, or Jolly July. And my call for today was a Christmas whip. And I decided today to put a few more stitches in my berry, my 7 swans of swimming. I think I've been calling it 6 swans up until now, so I'm sure you were trying to correct me. But anyway, it is 7 swans of swimming. And today I put in 409 additional stitches. So let me show you where I got to. So I was able to get all of the surround done and all of the green. So that is lovely. So now all I have left to do is a heart on one side, a little long strand of green grass on the other, and then I will have 4 swans in those gaps up there that I will stitch. So then the berry will be finished. But I think I'm gonna put it away and I'm gonna hold this for my travels, because this one would be an easy one to stitch in the car because it's on Ada and I think I could see it better. So I've got my floss, I'm ready to go with my pattern, and I'm going to put it back in the project bag and take it with me so that on Tuesday, as Donna and I are traveling, I will be able to stitch on the berry, and I should be able to finish it either on the way up or while we're there. So that's a good thing. So I'll put this away now, and I'll tell you, I don't know what I'll do next, because I think I need to put in my stitches for my fairies, my Shakespeare's fairies, so that I can stay caught up with that Sal at least this week. Next week I won't have it with me, so I won't be able to stitch on it. In fact, for 2 weeks I won't be able to stitch on it. I'll have to catch up a lot of stitching on it. But that's okay. I can get some of it done today, possibly. Other than that, I'll have to wait and see what the call is for tomorrow. Most of them are Christmas whips or whip of choice, but there is one that's my smallest whip, and I'm thinking right now, that would probably be my Christmas Peace on Earth from Primrose Cottage. And then another one is my most recent new start, and that one would have to be my Shakespeare's Fairies. And then I have another one that is a whip closest to a finish, if that gets called, and that would probably either be this berry or my Peace on Earth. So that one has a good chance of being called. We shall see. So I will put this back in my bag because I'm going to take it with me. So I'm going to go with there and put it in my bag so it stays packed. And then I will be pretty close to being ready to go on Tuesday morning, which is good because we're going to leave early. I think other than that, I'm good to go. I don't have anything else to share with you as far as anything I've done today, because mostly what I've done today has been to stitch on this or to help my husband get some business taken care of, and we went to lunch together. And I spent my morning talking to my sister and to my friend Glow. So I had a wonderful morning of conversations. So I'm really happy about that. So I'm going to say goodbye and hopefully have some more stitching to share with you later on. Happy stitching, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. This is Dina. It is July 6th, and I am here to give you a report on my stitching for my bingo call today. And I've, of course, folded in my Christmas in July for all of that. So the bingo call today was to stitch on a whip. Let me find it. It was a whip go call. It was number 14. And I had already completed both of the pieces. Well, I had completed my whip go goal on one piece that was called this month, and I had fully finished stitching the second piece that was called, so I couldn't do anything on that at all. But the one piece that I had already stitched my 3 hours on when it was called was Snow and Mountains. And I've been working on it a lot. But I thought, well, it is the only whip go call that I have available to stitch on, so I'm going to stitch on it. So I pulled it out yesterday, and I looked at it when I saw the call, and I said, okay, I'm going to set it up for in the morning. So this morning I got up, and I came upstairs, and I started working on it. And I have thoroughly enjoyed working on this piece. I'm listening to a fabulous audiobook, and so I just kept going. I went way past my 100 stitches I needed to do, so here you go. I have almost finished this next section in here that was for October. So here's August section I haven't even started, which is fun. And then this was September, October, November, and then I was going to finish up the bottom border if I could in November so I could have it framed for Christmas. But now I have just about finished October's portion. It was from here down, and I've done about half of it. But it was 420 stitches today, so I think that's great. And of course, this is getting closer and closer and closer to a finish, which you know what that means. I keep wanting to work on it because I can't hardly stand it. When it gets this close to a finish, I keep wanting to pull it back out and work on it. So who knows? I may do it again. You never know. Anyway, but that's it for now. That's what I've worked on. So that met my bingo requirement. More than met the bingo requirement this morning. So I'm going to go do some errands. I have a couple of things to pick up that I want to take with me on retreat. I want to get a couple of gift bags and just little things that I need, little small things. And I think I'll go do that this morning. And then other than that, I'll just be stitching. Spending time with Coco and my husband. We had a lovely evening last night. Our neighbors did a great fireworks show out over the lake. They shoot fireworks off a dock out over the water. It's just beautiful. And so we took Coco for a bit of a walk right before so she would be settled down. And she sat right there and leaned up against my legs and let me love on her while the fireworks went. She watches them. She's not afraid of them at all. She doesn't even flinch. So I was so excited for her. We have a family who lives in our neighborhood. They live down the street from us a bit. They have a doodle as well, and they said she was so hyper they couldn't bring her at all. So she didn't get to see the fireworks. I don't think she wanted to. But they have 2 small children who are precious. Precious. And their youngest was talking to Tommy. Mr. Tommy, bring Coco over here. He said, I have popcorn. Coco almost got some popcorn. But instead, Tommy gave him, his name is Micah, and Tommy gave Micah some treats to give Coco instead of popcorn. So anyway, we had a great time. Got to catch up with our neighbors and talk to them a little bit. So that was fun. So I had a great day. Loved it. Had a great fireworks display. Our neighbors really go all out, and it was a good fun time. So that was a good evening. I'm going to get back now and get my errands done and then get some stitching in today. And hopefully I might even have more to share with you later today. Happy stitching, everybody. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back. It is later on the 6th of July and on a Saturday. And I am here to tell you what I've been stitching this afternoon. I decided to work on one of my acrostics, my Daily 30 acrostic, and one of the letters in the July Cancer for the astrology sign is the letter N. And for me, that stood for Pere Noel. So pull this out. You know, I started this recently so it would be ready for me to take stitching with me to one of the retreats, which I will hopefully take it with me when I go to North Alabama, to the North Alabama stitching retreat. So today I needed to get at least 300 stitches in it for this prompt, and I stitched 324 more stitches in this thing. So when I first started it, I had started the little Santa Claus, and I had his face and the white of his hair and his hat, and I had the N and part of the O done. So today I finished the word Noel, put the star there that's on the top of his wand, which isn't there yet. Came down and put the silver in his hair and the red in his mouth. And then I put the red, two reds, there are two different colors of red, started now in the coat, and brought the white trim on down so that I totaled my 324 stitches. So that's enough for the prompt and the daily 30 group. So I want to take a moment and tell you a little bit about all the different things that I use when I'm stitching, because I've been asked about that. One of my viewers sent me a question about what do I use? Do I use Q-snaps and roller frames, and what kind of stands do I like? And so I want to show you what I have in my arsenal. The first thing I can show you is this little stretcher bar. I have a couple of these. I've used them in the past for Mill Hill kits, and this one I decided it was too small to go on my smallest Q-snap, so I just went ahead and put it on my stretcher bars instead. So I use this a lot for Mill Hills or for very small pieces that I'm working on. So these are stretcher bars, and you get tacks to go with them, and it comes with a little blue tool. Mine's blue, I'm sure they're not all blue, that you slide under the tack. See that little foot? You slide that under the tack and just lift it up, and it pops right out for you when you're ready to take them out. So I've got this in the project bag with me with this. So this is Pere Noel. It's a hands-on design. And now that I have finished working on it today, I will put it away, and I'll be able to do something different this evening. So that is one of the things I use when I'm stitching. Another thing that I use when I'm stitching is a roller frame. And you've seen those many times over. I have different sizes of them. This is one. This is one of my favorite sizes. And it's about an 18-inch one. And it's on a 10-inch sidebar. It gives me a good 10 inches of space to work on. I also have roller frames that are larger, such as this one. And this one doesn't tell me how long the bars are, but the reason I wanted to show it to you is that the side bars are 12 inches. And what that is going to allow me to do is do this entire piece without rolling it up or down. And I think that's wonderful. So that's my 12-inch bar. Now, I mentioned I have different sizes. This is one of my larger ones. This is a 26-inch roller frame, and it's the beginning of my Shakespeare's Fairies. I've got it set here, and I've done my first day of stitching on it. I haven't been able to pick it up since then, but there you go. The next thing that I use would be my Q-snaps, and I have various sizes, but my favorite is an 8x11. I do have some smaller ones. This is an 8x8, My smallest, I think, is the smallest they make, 6 by 6. But those are two I use the most often. I have another tool that I like to use when I can at retreats. A lot of it depends on the size of your table, because this actually adjusts to clamp on your table, and then this adjusts right here to let this up and down so that you can make it as tall or as low as you need it to be. And then you have a hoop. I saw this at a retreat. Marlene, Stitching by the Lake, was using one, and I asked her for the name of it, and I ordered it. And for the life of me, I cannot remember the name of it. So if you know the name of this, would you put it in the comments below for me so that I can make sure people can see it? And if I can find it before I publish this, I'll put it either down below or I'll put it in the drop down box. But this is the only hoop size that I have to go on this. So it's a fairly large one. So there you go. Either stretcher bars, Q-snaps, roller frames, hoops. And I have stitched in hand. I don't prefer to do that. My hands tend to get stiff when I do that because I'm having to hold everything so tight. I prefer to stitch two-handed, which means I put my fabric in either a Q-snap, a roller frame, or a hoop, and I have it on a stand, either a tabletop stand or my floor stand. I've shared my floor stand before. It is an Elon floor stand. It's a beautiful wooden floor stand. And I also have the Elon lap stand or table stand that I use. I take it with me quite often to retreats as well. So there you go. Those are my tools of the trade that I was asked to share with you. And I was also asked to say which ones I prefer. I think by far my most comfortable stitch is on a roller frame on a floor stand, because I can get my floor stand the perfect height for me to not have to bend over my stitching. And I find that that helps my neck, my back. My next favorite is a Q-snap, because they're so lightweight and they're so mobile. I can take them with me wherever I go, doesn't matter. And I generally put them in my floor stand when I'm at home, or in my lap stand when I'm at retreat, to hold it for me. And I prefer that they be held by a stand instead of by my hands, because when I'm having to hold a Q-snap to work on it, either way, I can only stitch one-handed, and that takes a lot longer. It slows me down quite a bit. So I hope that's helpful for you. You may have other things you like to use or things you like to do. I've tried a Neige hoop, and I will say a hoop is my least favorite thing to work on, and I think that's primarily because it leaves marks. Every hoop I have ever used, including this one, leaves marks. And Q-snaps hardly leave any mark at all, and the roller frames leave no marks. I can take something off a roller frame that I ironed the fabric before I put on there, and I just about don't have to iron it at all. It looks great. Using these with fabric, it is poking a hole around here, so I have to be careful not to stretch it too tight. So this is not tight as a drum, because if I stretch it too tight, it's going to pull on that tack and it'll make the hole bigger, and I don't want to do that. I honestly am using this on the stretcher bars just to avoid stitching in hand because it's so small. I could stitch fabric to it to put it in a Q-snap, but when I'm working on something that's a small like that, I don't want to take the time to do it. I just soon do something like that to make it work for me. So I hope that helps. I hope that gives you some ideas on what you might want to try, what you might want to utilize. And other than that, I think, truly your personal preference. It's just whatever you like to do, what feels right for you. You know, that's what you do. But you do have to try a lot of things sometimes to find your favorites. Once I found roller frames, I have made a huge investment in them. I own a large number of them. So I have 10 projects on roller frames right now. 10. And I have some roller frames in my closet, in my supply closet, that I haven't got anything on yet. So not that many, but a few. Because I wanted to be able to put anything I stitch on a roller frame if I can. That would be my goal. And then I do keep a few things off of the roller frames that are smalls so I can take them with me, because I find Q-snaps are a little bit easier to travel with than a roller frame. But I'm getting there. Now that I have my larger bag, I think I can take a lot more roller frames with me than I could have before, because my travel bag before was a beautiful pink bag. I have it right here. This was my travel bag before, a beautiful Vera Bradley that my sister Stephanie gave me. It has pockets all the way around, just like my bag I just made. However, this one is a lot smaller. So, you know, you have a lot less room to store what you might need for a retreat. This bag now is my bag I take when I go to my friend Juliana's, or I go to stitch at a stitching day on like a Saturday. This is a perfect size because I'm only going to take one thing or two things to work on, and I can get all of that in here without any trouble. So that was my travel bag for retreats. And now, but I also had to take a rolling craft cart with me, and now with my big bag, I'm not planning on taking my roller cart with me. I don't think. I'll have to look at it and decide, but I really don't think I'm going to. I think my bag will be all I need, so we shall see. So I'll try it out at this next retreat coming up on Tuesday. We travel Tuesday. But thanks for letting me share with you all the ways that I secure my stitching while I am working on projects. Happy stitching, everybody.